Hi, my name is Amiel Best, and today I want to talk about isolation. In a period of time where we're more connected than ever before, why are so many people feeling isolated? Isolation is a growing concern in modern society, impacting people across every demographic. After having researched the topic and having personal experiences with it, I will share insights into the main types of isolation and their negative effects on us. Understanding the different types of isolation and their effects can help us notice and lessen their impact on our well-being. In this speech, I will define social, emotional, and physical isolation and explain the way that they negatively impact our lives. First, social isolation is a lack of social interactions and not having many individuals you feel connected to. You could live alone and not feel socially isolated, but on the flip side, you could live with a big family and still feel that way. Lack of social interaction can negatively affect you by causing depression, lowering your quality of sleep, and declining your cognitive abilities. This comes from psychologist Louise Hockley, PhD, a senior research scientist at the research organization NORC at the University of Chicago. Hockley points to evidence linking perceived social isolation with adverse health consequences, including depression, poor sleep quality, impaired executive function, accelerated cognitive decline, poor cardiovascular function, and impaired immunity at every stage of life. Social isolation can cause you to gain a negative perspective of the world as well. At the start of middle school, I didn't know anyone, so I didn't talk to anyone for a couple weeks. This turned my perspective negative because I grew envious of those people I did see with friends. Next, emotional isolation is when your defense mechanism kicks in whether you want it to or not, and to protect yourself from feeling bad, you stop openly communicating with people around you. When you do talk to them, you keep the conversation superficial or almost fake. Emotional isolation can make it extremely difficult to feel connected to those you hold relationships with. From goodtherapy.org, they state, someone in an intimate relationship can still experience emotional isolation. One or both partners may feel alone within the relationship rather than supported and fulfilled. Emotional isolation makes every conversation superficial and robotic. It's really hard to communicate with my family, and when I do try to talk to them, I can only say what I know they want to hear, not what I truly want to say. And I think this has to do with being judged, or feeling like I might be. Lastly, physical isolation is when you are literally not around any other humans for an extended period of time. So this could be based on where you live or where you work, or maybe a prison sentence. Physical isolation can not only have a negative effect on your mental health, it can also directly cause social and emotional isolation. From lonelinessnz.org, they state, when the physical isolation is frequent and or prolonged, as perceived by the individual in isolation, they are likely to feel socially isolated, loneliness, and for some, the onset of becoming emotionally isolated occurs. Being physically isolated will make you develop unhealthy coping habits like overeating, substance abuse, and too much screen time. Before the pandemic, I was already spending a little too much time inside, but once they started, I had so much free time to eat whatever I wanted and watch or play whatever I wanted on a screen, and pretty much I was abusing the things I enjoyed. In conclusion, isolation, whether it be social, emotional, or physical, has a significant negative effect on our overall well-being. In this speech, I discussed the main three types of isolation: social, emotional, and physical, as well as their negative impact on us. Once people start becoming aware of the negative effects of isolation, they can start reversing the habits and maybe even reach out for help. I would honestly say that becoming aware of the negative effects is the first step at escaping isolation. Thank you. I would also like to add that physical isolation can result in very severe mental and emotional isolated feelings, and these can lead to suicide and following through with that. So I think that isolation is a very serious topic to be had. Thank you.